How to schedule your study hours in distance learning. Many distance learners, students taking classes while not physically present at the host college or university, need to balance several responsibilities at once. These may include working full-time, caring for young children, serving in active duty military roles, etc. Having so many obligations can make it difficult to find time to study. If you are a distance learner seeking advice for scheduling time to study for your classes, check out this guide. Managing your schedule. Determine what you need to get done. Before scheduling study time, it is important that you are aware of all the requirements of your various classes. Use your course calendars, usually provided in some form with the syllabus, to figure out what assignments are due each week. Don't forget to include tests and exams. It may help to write everything down and group it by day or week. This way you won't have to flip between multiple class syllabi in order to see what is due on any given day. If you do not have a syllabus or class schedule, ask your course instructor to give you as much information as possible about the general rhythm and organization of the course. Most instructors have their courses planned out before they even begin, so your teacher likely already has this information available. Create a plan. Once you have figured out what you need to get done each day or week, you can begin to make your study schedule. To do this, you will need to account for all your personal obligations, such as work, picking your kids up from school, medical appointments, etc. Make a schedule that first incorporates those things you can't easily adjust. Don't forget to factor in things that are important to you but might not necessarily be obligations. This could include a workout class, movie night with your family, or time devoted to a hobby or craft. You will maximize your productivity if you balance your studies with fun activities. Keep in mind that you can always make adjustments if you find that your plan isn't working. You can even scrap it altogether if necessary. You are not bound by your first attempt. Prioritize your requirements. In developing a study schedule, you should identify those tasks or assignments that are most important, especially if you have a hard time fitting in all your studying in the amount of time you have available. For example, if you have weekly assignments due for one class that are worth almost as much as the class exams, carve out time specifically for these each week to ensure you get them done. It may not always be easy to identify the important requirements for your classes. After all, everything is important if you want to do well. Try to prioritize those tasks that will have the greatest impact on your grade. Don't forget that some things that are required but not due may also be important. This might include assigned readings, which you are not graded on but will be important for you to learn the material and do well on the exams. Be as detailed as possible with your study schedule. It is not good enough to simply set aside 2 hours for studying. Carve out specific time frames for each task you need to accomplish on a given day. Being specific with your schedule will make you less likely to skip important tasks or accidentally take up all your study time with one assignment. Make sure you account for minor distractions, bathroom breaks, and the like when creating your schedule, otherwise you could be thrown off by unplanned interruptions. It is okay to break up your study sessions into multiple sessions per day if this works best for you. For example, you can devote an hour to studying before dinner and 2 hours afterwards. Just make sure the start and stop times are clearly defined in your schedule. Start slow. Don't give yourself too much to handle right out of the gate. If you aren't able to follow through with your study plan in the very first week of school, you're likely to get frustrated. This is a recipe for failure. Make sure you can handle things before cranking up the intensity. Begin with assigning yourself a 2-hour study block every other night. If this isn't enough time to get done what you need to do, you will probably realize this while making your schedule. Adjust this time allotment so that you think it will be doable and go from there. Don't wait too long to make changes to your schedule if you find it isn't working. If your study blocks are too short or infrequent to get everything done, you will need to devote more time to your studies. The longer you wait to make these adjustments, the further behind you may get in the material, and this can be hard to recover from. Stick to your schedule. Once you've created and settled into a routine that works for you, follow through with it. This doesn't mean you can't make adjustments if circumstances change. A certain amount of flexibility is actually recommended. However, it does mean you shouldn't become lazy or neglect your studies. Holding yourself accountable and not letting things slip through the cracks is essential to doing well in school, especially as a distance learner. A good way to make sure you don't skip out on studying is to set a watch or phone alarm to remind you to get started each evening. This eliminates the possibility that you will forget because you are busy with other things. If you know you will miss part of a study block because of a one-time obligation, such as an appointment that cannot be moved, plan to make up for that lost time. This might require skipping one of your leisurely activities or moving your studying to an earlier or later time that day. Because you don't have to be physically present in class as a distance learner, the course is being conducted online, you might find it more difficult to get into a regular study habit. However, if you work hard during the first few weeks of class, you will likely adjust to your new schedule and find it easier to accept. Make time to study for exams. It is easy to forget to schedule time in your study blocks for studying for exams because this is not something that is due for your classes. In order to do well on exams, plan to devote time to reviewing previous material, not just completing assignments, especially as exam dates draw nearer. It is best to make study reviews a part of your schedule from the start of the term. This will help you pace yourself so you aren't left cramming all your exam studying into a single night. This might be a tempting obligation to skip out on when you're feeling tired or unmotivated, but do your best not to slack off on this. Exams usually make up a large portion of your grade, so this is actually one of your more important tasks.